Godzilla and Kong answer to no one but themselves, so it's fair to say that their upcoming feud in Godzilla vs. Kong makes a whole bunch of sense. The two most iconic movie monsters who pretty much created an entirely new way of making movies have only met twice in their entire existence. When you combine how long King Kong has been around along with Godzilla, the two franchises have merged together 153 total years. And throughout that entire time, they've hated each other. The question for this video is, why? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. Any movies ever would point to a few cliché plot points as to why Godzilla and Kong must face off. You have the Batman vs Superman reasoning, which is just two alpha characters, used to being the baddest mofos around, forming little hatred bugs for the other due to jealousy or past events. You have the champion and underdog effect like what we saw in Rocky III, where Balboa's championship run became stale and his reputation started to outweigh his accomplishments, thus creating Mr. T's character Clever Lang, a man who believes Rocky did not deserve his praise and was nothing but a chump who got lucky. And you also have the fallen hero route, where the once mighty character is starting to lose a step and a new challenger decides to swoop in and attempt to steal the throne. These are just some examples, but I'm sure you get the point now that movies tend to exaggerate things in order to set up an entertaining plot in these sort of confrontational stories. But if the Monsterverse was real and these beasts were actual living animals, why would they fight? Let's go over some of the most common reasons why animals fight. Dominance is often the leading factor in disputes of all kinds. We all want to be the top dog in one way or another, humans included. Godzilla dominates the planet and Kong dominates Skull Island, which in a way is the entire planet to him. So they both have lived a long time thinking they were the biggest and most dominating things around. If Godzilla invades Skull Island or Kong is set loose outside of his home, you know that this isn't going to sit well with either of them, especially with humans causing stress to both individuals throughout it all. Humanity, shit, yeah! Food and territory may just be the leading factor when it comes to battles between all creatures. A pack of wolves will kill a coyote if it comes in their territory, lions and hyenas consistently battle over kills, and even herbivores will face off when things get really hard. And I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories about how us humans act when it comes to tough times and things like toilet paper, or finding the cheap TV on Black Friday. And don't even get me started on all the wars that were started over some land squabbles. In short, all of us Earthlings will fight, sometimes to the death when it comes to food and territory. Even though Godzilla and Kong eat separate things, they both grow more powerful and large when they consume radiation. This could actually be a big part of their future fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them both throwing mitts in order to get this stockpile of nuclear energy. If it's not over food or territory, the next likely reason for fights in our natural world is for their right to breed. No matter which shape, size, or species, we all love to fight over our respected future mating partners. I'm sure you know this is no different from us humans. Making sure our genes go on to the next generation is engraved deep in the biology of all of us. But I think it's safe to say that Godzilla and Kong will not be fighting over a mate anytime soon. Go on somewhere with that Mothra shit. Speaking of being completely different, introducing two animals, whether they are the same species or not, tends to lead to chaos and raised levels of aggression, at least at first. Animals usually only tolerate their own kind during the introduction phase, and any creature different than them, well, it doesn't go well. Most of the time. Dogs and cats are great examples of this. My fiance and I recently got a new puppy, and our cat has been less than thrilled about the whole situation. We have to keep a close eye on them until they grow familiar with each other. This can very well be what happens with the big ape and the G-Man. They may show aggression and fight at first, but I wouldn't rule out them becoming good buddies or at the very least able to tolerate one another when it's all said and done. Now, the last potential reason why the two alpha monsters hate each other could be due to an instinctual adaptation that develops over many generations, where species know that another animal is a natural threat to their existence. We see this all over the natural world, and we know it exists in the Monsterverse already with Godzilla and the Mutos being natural enemies. Unless they act like it never happened, there was the cave painting with an ancient Kong and Godzilla, possibly Dagon fighting. Could this mean the two titans have an ancient feud embedded in their instincts? Maybe, but there is really only one way to find out. Make sure to go watch the movie when it comes out, hopefully this November. I hope you enjoyed the video, residents, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell so we can keep you updated on everything Godzilla vs. Kong. Life is a bit strange for many of us right now with the whole corona flu and all that going on, so if you want to just escape, feel free to binge watch our videos. Go back to the very beginning and just enjoy it. Al and I always talked about wanting the channel to be a place for people like us to escape and talk about cool things like monsters and dinosaurs, so I hope we've been doing it and you all justice. On that note everyone, just have a great day. Peace out.